Okay, so weekly Rocket Report. Multiple things. First of all, the most important one, Rocket is 18 years, 5 months old this week on the 15th. That was Wednesday. He reached that milestone. Again, his record for being the oldest dog I've ever had, Mrs. Gimpy as well, it continues. So he's doing pretty well. Is it all rigged? Of course it's rigged. Hey, Taco, welcome back. So anyway, like I said, Rocket, 18 years, 5 months old this week. So that's the most important thing. And then on Monday, we took him into the vet for Mrs. Gimp. We kind of discussed this earlier this week, but today's the real day. We're supposed to be talking about it. Mrs. Gimpy's been concerned about him not about experiencing too much pain because she says he whines all the time. He whines all night long, blah blah blah. And I tell her she's misinterpreting what he's actually saying because he's got a complicated vocabulary, believe it or not. He's got different whines or sounds for different things, and she hears this. If he makes a sound, it's all the same thing. It's all he's in pain. And keep telling her, go, no, that is not all the same thing. It is very different. He's got actually an actual vocabulary, and each one of those whines means different things. And the one that he uses the most is his frustration, I'm confused one. And she interprets that as physical pain. I go, no, it's not physical pain. It's more of an emotional pain. And he does it when he's walking around usually. And it's just his way of saying, I'm not sure where I am because it's too dark and that kind of stuff. And she goes, but he'll always do that. And I go, yeah, because if you put him into a big open area when there's lots of light, he's fine. He walks around, it's like no big deal. And I go, and when you put inside the house here, we have, especially once it's after the sun is going down, this is when he's the most vocal, is because it's dark. It's darker. It's not, because the sun's not out, and the house is more confining than say being on the porch or going for a walk or the vet's office for that matter. It's more confined because there's stuff to bump into. The hallway, he has to navigate down the hallway. He's got to make turns to get through the hallway. He's got to get in the living room. He's got to bump into stuff because there's a couch and love seat and there's a table and chairs and all this other fun stuff for him to bump into. So he gets frustrated. And to her, that's all, it's a pain sound. And to me, it's like, no, it's his frustration that he's, having to deal with this stuff. Hey, Jeff, welcome back. He is a grumpy old dog. Poor, totally not spoiled. Yes, he's totally not spoiled. But anyway, so like I said, then that's just an example of his vocabulary. And then what's really funny is when he hasn't seen her for a while, either because she's gone somewhere or she's been in her office and he doesn't know she's in there. And then eventually, I will direct him towards her office and he sees her, or he gets close enough to her so that he can smell that she's there. And he starts going into big howl mode. She goes, see, he's in pain. I go, no, that's not his howl. That is not his pain howl. That is, I miss Mrs. Gimpy howl. I found her. That's my howl. That's my identification howl that I found her. and she goes, no, that's pain. I go, no, it's not. He's happy to have found you. That's what that actually means. Counseling. He doesn't need counseling. Mrs. Gimpy needs the counseling. But anyway, this is all related to why we're at the vet on Monday this week. And so, new vet for us, because the vet that Mrs. Gimpy had been using for the past 30 years or so, or something like that, retired 2 years ago. And we've been in search for a new vet. And she finally found one that's in our area, not too far away. And she seems to be pretty good. She's younger. And by younger, I mean she's got to probably be at most 30. So, but she seems knowledgeable about stuff. And like I said, we met her officially this past Monday with Rocket and stuff. And she did his exam and said, oh, he looks pretty good. And Mrs. Gimpy, can you check his teeth? And I go, okay, I don't know. And so the vet, checks out his mouth. He goes, oh yeah, looks like he's missing some teeth and he's got some tartar and this kind of stuff. And I go, yeah, he's missing teeth because, he's she knows he's 18. I go, he's had a few teeth removed over the years. And she kind of just laughed. She goes, yeah, it's kind of typical for a small dog at this age to not have a whole lot of teeth left. It's just the nature of the game type deal. So I'm happy with her, and I'm happy with their staff as well. They were all very friendly and knowledgeable, knowledgeable. And then her assistant, her one of her vet assistants, I kind of it was funny. I was kind of curious why she was spending so much time with us, and as we were getting ready to go up to the desk to get the medication and stuff that Rocket's going to be on, she was holding Rocket because she needed to bring him back to get some blood work done. He says, "You're so adorable. You look just like my dog." And I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I have a Papillon too, and he's a black and white too." I went, "Oh, okay." So that's why she was so fascinated with Rocket, because it was basically an older version of her dog. So Tartar, he doesn't brush his teeth and lost his teeth. No, he doesn't brush his teeth. Brushing the teeth of a small dog is a pain in the ass. It really is. There's other ways of dealing with it, but like there's a supplement you can put in the water, and different types of dental gel that you can have them lick, and it kind of works a little bit, but not. It's not the best. It's not as good as brushing, but it's better than nothing. And his teeth haven't been cleaned in over 2 years, so, and that's mainly because as dogs get older, it's harder to give them proper dental work because anesthetics is an issue, and so you got to be really careful. And it's not finding somebody who does dog teeth cleaning that doesn't involve anesthesia is not easy, and it's definitely not cheap, which I don't really get, but that's the way it is. So having fluoride in his water? No, it's not fluoride. It's something else. It's an actual thing. Fluoride doesn't help with getting rid of tartar. Fluoride is more for strengthening of teeth. And there is fluoride in his water because he drinks tap water just like I do. So Mrs. Gimpy doesn't, but Rocket and I do. So, but anyway, so went to the vet. Decided on two medications that the vet suggested we use for him based on what the issues are, specifically concern about pain, that kind of thing, and his anxiety. So he's getting two medications. One is specifically for his arthritis, and the other one is for his anxiety and a little bit of pain stuff. Again, it's more arthritis related, but it's an NSAID, kind of like ibuprofen, but for dogs. Not as strong. It's one of the weaker versions, and it's also supposed to help control his seizures a little bit too. It's not a true seizure controlling medication, but it has been reported to help with seizures and reducing their frequency. And so that's the stuff he's on, or at least it will be. He's only currently on the arthritis stuff because he still hasn't had his blood work done, because they tried drawing his blood on Monday, and he was not happy about that, and he would not cooperate. So basically what we have to do is, the next time we have an appointment, I think Mrs. Gimpy is trying to get an appointment for Monday. She's supposed to be, at least. Bring him in, but 2 hours ahead of time, we're supposed to give him the medication that is supposed to help with his anxiety, help him calm down a little bit. And fingers crossed, they'll be able to draw blood on him at that point. So that was Monday. That was Monday. And then what else happened this week? What else? Nothing. I mean, that was the med, and then we actually did start giving him the arthritis stuff, and he started that Monday night. No, sorry, it wasn't Monday night. It was Monday morning after we got back from the vet. Mrs. Gimpy gave him a dose for that because it lasts for 24 hours. It's once a day type medication, so he got that on Monday morning, and then he did really well for the rest of Monday. And then as the evening rolled in, as we started going to bed, he started getting a little bit more active. And I'm going, you know what? We gave that medication way too early. And she goes, what do you mean? And I go, because the whole purpose of this medication is to help him sleep. If we're giving it to him at 10 o'clock in the morning, by the time we get to 10 o'clock at night, that's going to be halfway through its time frame, and which means it's not going to be nearly as effective as it was 8 hours ago. So what we need to do is we need to start giving the medication to him for dinner and not breakfast. That way, when we get, because he has dinner sometime around 6, 7 o'clock at night typically, but at the same time we have dinner, and that way, when it's fully kicked in, is about the time we're going to be going to bed, and he should be nice and relaxed for that purpose, or hopefully he should be comfortable because it should be kicked in for his dealing with his pains and stuff. So so that. So now we're in the process of trying to get him to. And this started, I think, last night. Yeah, last night is when we gave him the dosage at it's about 6 to 7 o'clock for this food, and he did pretty well last night. I think he had a couple of issues, but he just had to. What was he doing? What did he do last night? It was about midnight. I think it was about midnight. He got up and he was a little impatient. He wanted to walk around and stuff, so I stayed up with him for a little while, and he just wanted to walk around. That's all it was. He just wanted to walk around. So I let him walk around the condo and took him out on the porch for a little bit. And he did a bunch of laps out there, and he seemed to be okay. Brought him inside, laid him down next to our bed, and he went to sleep. So that's all it was. He just had some energy to burn. Is he still doing his art? He does his art every day. He has a different sculpture every day. Of course, any especially sweet moments. He went for his first walk in 2 months yesterday. Forgot about that. We have, and Mrs. Gimpy had a couple of videos. I forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder there. But anyway, there's the album. If you scroll down all the way to the bottom, we've got some new pictures this week. And the last entry there is a little short video, one of the videos she took yesterday. And he seems to be doing, based on what, I didn't expect to not see anything, any problems or anything. But he did fine. And it's just funny watching the videos, because I don't know, I think that one has it, where he's walking and he'll every now and then he'll stop and he does his little scan that with his head that he does. He looks back and forth real quick, and then he decides, okay, it's good, and he keeps moving forward. So, and when he's outside, there's a lot more space to play around with, so he seems to be pretty comfortable walking around and stuff. So, that's a newer picture right there. That's what I call my little burrito. Oh, and there's from Monday morning after the thing, when he has a little bandage on his leg, and that was the following morning, I think. He was sleeping on that one, and then there's the stay. Oh, those pictures are out of order slightly, but they're good. So we got some new pictures in there. But yeah, so he's doing pretty well. And I watched, because the way Mrs. Gippy Brooke got his stroller out, mainly to help her walk, because she's still technically not supposed to be walking without a cane. And so I told her, and she goes, how am I going to walk Rocket and use my cane at the same time? I go, get a stroller. And she goes, why would I need a stroller? I go, trust me, the stroller is better than your cane for balance. I've had to use one doing the MS walks and stuff. That stroller that we have is pretty well. It's basically a walker for a human, because of the way it's done. It's even better because it's just easier to use. And she goes, okay. And then she used it on a walk yesterday, and she goes, you were right. It's much easier than using a cane, and can still walk him at the same time. And if he gets tired, just throw him in the stroller and keep on going. So, and it worked really well for her yesterday. So, she was really happy with being able to take him a walk. And keep in mind, it's the first walk that she's been able to do really with him in 2 months because of her knee surgery and stuff. So she's really happy, and she was out for like a good 30 minutes or so walking him. The funny part is she took a couple of pictures, and then she has about 5 or 6 videos, just short videos, and I only put one in the album, but they're all basically the same thing. And then I was going through her phone, going, okay, which one was I going to grab? And I go, and all the videos are like between 40 seconds and a minute and a half. So I'm just going, okay, that's good. And then one of them, 19 minutes. I go, I show her phone. I go, did you know you have a 19-minute video in here from the walk? And she goes, no. And so I start looking at it, and it was 19 minutes of the camera rolling, and she didn't know it was on. And she had it like, she has this little necklace, a lanyard of some type, where she, hangs the phone on her neck. And so basically it's 20 minutes of the phone bouncing around, spinning, and she has no idea it's on. And she's talking to Rocket, and she's doing all kinds of other stuff. Just, and I'm watching the whole thing, and I'm just watching it, and I start laughing. She goes, "What are you laughing at?" And I go, "Because this video is classic. This is good stuff. This is just good stuff. I mean, it's only we're the only ones who are ever going to see it, but." And she goes, "Why don't you delete that thing?" I go, "I'm not going to delete this. This is classic stuff. I'm never getting rid of this one. This is good." Because she's famous for that kind of stuff. She's famous for running the camera and not even knowing it's on. She starts talking to people and whatever. There's so many conversations she's caught over the years on her cameras and phones. It's great. Yesterday was 19 minutes of it was just stuff. It was great. I mean, it's just, and it's not like it's smooth things. It should be walking along, so the camera's all bouncing and spinning and whatever. You can't watch it because I couldn't actually watch it because it's making me dizzy. But every now and then she stops and the camera stops, and it's like, what's she looking at? Because because it's basically hanging from her chest or belly area, because it's just hanging down, and it just so happens to be caught where the camera is looking out. And one time it stops, and it turns out she had sat down, and when the camera focuses on stuff, it's Rocket's butt. Because she had sat down on the stair, on some stairs or something, and he was standing right in front of her. But it was like he was right there in front of the camera, just his butt. That's great. We'll see it on his 19th birthday. We could always do that. So it's been a fun week. It's been a fun week. So what else for Rocket? Like I said, he's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good. He has his moments where he's not so happy and that kind of thing, but he's old. It's to be expected. But I think his good times are much more than his bad times. Much more common. Oh, that picture is not there. Which picture is that one? He's a cool dog. He seems to think so. He seems to think so. That one black spot, I got to find which one that is. Anyway, so I think that's it. Unless there's questions, I don't think we have anything else to talk about as far as Rocket goes. Like I said, I think Mrs. Gimpy's trying to get an appointment for next week sometime, so we can get him to get his blood drawn, because he's not supposed to be using his other medication until they want to verify that his liver and kidneys are in good shape. So yours is a menace, but you've got a young dog, don't you? Trust me, Mickey and Rocket were very much menaces when they were young. They were menaces for years. Up until they get hit about 5 years old, I think I would consider them menaces. But anyway, yeah, I think that's it.